Hey guys, the Prince of Troy. As a new video idea, I decided to make some tips for some of the historical battles on Rome Total War, and I got most of them, but I'm only going to do one in this episode, which is the Siege of Gergovia. And I decided to do something new this time. I decided to make a little diorama on my table back here, and hold on. Alright, decided to make a little diorama on my table right here, which I'm going to use the camera and explain it and see if that can help you guys out. Alright, this is how you start out, right? Gauls, I didn't have any green, so use yellow. Gauls, have you guys surrounded, right? So, this is when the battle starts out. General's unit, these guys in the infantry, blocks. This thing right here is the battering ram. These two are your archers. So, first thing you've got to do is tell the guys right here that are commanding the ram to stop, and then what you need to do is whenever your ram's right here, essentially pull your infantry in a little double line around it, essentially, like this. Get out of here. With your archers in the middle, and your general in the middle as well. You need to form essentially a little block like this around them with your infantry. Now, that's the key thing that the Gauls were going to do. They were going to surround you. So if you've got this little block right here, when they charge, their infantry is not that good against the Roman infantry. Make sure that you turn fire at will on for the archers, and for your infantry around the side right here, make them turn fire at will on for them too, so they can fire their pila. So then whenever the Gauls advance, throw the pila and you did all this right, then they're gonna hit your lines like this. So you're gonna hit your lines. Oof. Hit your lines. The Gauls on their own, the heavy cavalry is gonna hit and everything like that. But because the Roman legions are Roman legions, they're a lot better than the Gallic legions are, or than the Gallic armies are. So they're not going to punch a hole anywhere in the lines. Anywhere on the lines right here. So then the Romans are gonna be able to hold them off, and as long as you use your pila right, then as long as you fired your pila, besides that, they're gonna be weakened. So whenever they get beat, they're gonna all pull back eventually. Whenever you see this happen, whenever most of them are gone, pull your general out and come out here and hit as many of the routing units as you can before they pull back into Gergovia, right here or whatever. Alright. And then whenever all that's over, that's over. Most of them are gone. There's a few of them left. So whenever they form you can use your general to chase down the archers too. They're gonna form at this town center. Just pretend this is the town center. I didn't have anything for this. It's the town center. They're in Gergovia. This is going. So then your Roman infantry, you've lost a couple units, right? So then they're heavily depleted. You're not very depleted, right? So then you can surround the fort. Considering they don't have as many cavalry, you can surround the town center. You could surround the town center and then completely envelop them. Completely envelop them and wipe them out. That's the Battle of Gergovia. Remember, the key thing... That's the battle. Alright, the key thing to remember about this battle is your Roman legions are a lot tougher than the Gallic army is. As long as you don't get surrounded and don't get flanked or anything like that, you're gonna win the battle simply because your Roman legions are tougher, and essentially there's more of them per unit than there is in the Gauls. Alright, some more things to remember about this. Their archers are not that big of a threat. Since there's only like one or two of them, they're not that big of a threat. So don't worry about chasing down the archers at the start of the battle. The cavalry, don't try to engage that with your general. If your general dies, your army's going to rout in a couple minutes. Julius Caesar was an excellent general. He was a big essence on the battlefield. He was an inspiring presence. If you don't lose him, you've got a big chance of surviving the battle. So keep him in the middle of the circle near the ram. And make sure that what else is there? Alright, so yeah, that's basically it. Just avoid getting, number one, avoid getting surrounded. Two, don't lose your general. Those are the two biggest things. Alright, y'all, see you later. I'll be coming up with the tips for all the rest of the... Hold on, so, alright, I made this difficulty scale of how tough I think the battle is. And for the Siege of Gergovia, it's on a scale of 5 to 10, by the way. Gergovia, I gave it a 6 on a scale from 5 to 10, with 10 being the hardest. So it's really, I don't really think it's that hard personally. As long as you remember, keep your general alive and don't get flanked. See ya.